Bro, you want to know the secret? You can't fake pre-selection. And it's the cheat code. If you want to put yourself in the best position when it comes to dating and interacting with women that you find attractive and want to spend quality time with, want to have a fling with, just want to interact with on that type of level, on that type of vibe, pre-selection is the cheat code. Because it's saying everything that needs to be said without really saying it verbally. It's like that stamp. You got that stamp of approval. You're chosen, right? That validation, you're validified, right? The credentials is all there because you're stamped. So that's your paperwork. A lot of dudes aren't qualified. That's why they don't have options. That's why they are not in the most advantageous position in their dating life, because they're not qualified. They're not putting in the hard work. They're not figuring it out. You gotta figure it out, bro. You gotta figure out what works best for you. You gotta figure out the way that you need to move, the way that you need to talk, the way that you need to walk to have the best outcomes for yourself. You gotta become pre-selected, bro. And that transpires on so many levels. Like, for example, YouTube video. You see a YouTube video with 5 views compared to a YouTube video with 100,000 views. If you just like scrolling, you're gonna assume that the video with 100,000 views got more substance than the video with 5 views. You're just gonna assume that off rip just by seeing it. And the reason for that is probably gonna be differences, like the thumbnail probably gonna be different. The amount of time contributed to that YouTube channel is gonna look completely different. It's just gonna be a difference that is gonna be apparent. That's gonna have you looking at it thinking that one video is qualified, the other video is not qualified for your attention. Or it's gonna look like in the real world, when you outside shopping, you see an item that nobody's really buying, like a salesperson come to your house and is trying to sell you an item that nobody's really trying to get. You 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be the next person not buying that item. But for somebody who has an item that everybody is dying to have, he come to you, you're probably gonna want to buy it because it's a reason that people are dying to have that item. So what I'm saying is, bro, when you're pre-selected, it's a reason for that. It's because you is living up to whatever qualifications she have. So now she view you a type of way. She view you like everybody else wants you. So that's gonna have her move different. She's gonna move different when interacting with you compared to how she would move with just a normal guy, right? With just a dude who don't really do it for nobody, who don't got the options, who don't got the abundance. Women are gonna appear a type of way to him, and he's gonna have this outlook on them that's completely different than the dude who have options, who always have options. They have 2 different mindsets when it comes to women. And that's another thing that's gonna rub off, and that's gonna qualify as pre-selected, the attitude. They gonna act two completely different ways, bro. One guy is probably gonna be extra nice, extra sensitive, extra, understanding, while the next guy, the other guy, is probably, a little bit more selfish, a little bit more, just my way or the highway type of mentality, type of aura. And, women act different when it comes to that personality level. They interact with those personality levels differently. They don't act the same way when it comes to interacting with that. So it's just going to be differences, bro. And that's what pre-selection really is. It's all about just, he stand out because of this or that. The reason that he stand out, but he stand out and they see it. So, you got that stamp of approval, you're really chosen. And I'm not saying that like you gonna get every single girl. You're still gonna get rejected, bro. It's a numbers game for everybody, right? It's not like that. But you're gonna have your fair share. You're gonna have abundance. You don't need every single one. You just need the ones that's rocking with you. When you have too many, they become headaches anyway, bro. You're gonna deal with headaches just from encountering with them, because they have problems that they're gonna rub off on you and talk to you about and expect you to fix. It's just gonna be, a little bit disorderly sometimes. So like, you have so many, at a point you don't even want that. But you have your fair share. You have your amount that's good for you. Whether that's one or whatever. But you have that option. You got that stamp of approval because of everything, because of the credentials, right? Not just the look, but the movement, the acting, the way you are. It all corresponds. It all lines up. It's in alignment. So it's just an aura that's gonna come off because of that. Because of that, that all makes the aura that you give off. And women are in tune to that. They're gonna pick up on it. And that's why they're gonna act differently around you. That's why they're gonna be in a different, mode when they're around you compared to somebody else who they don't find pre-selected. Things like they not physically attracted to them. They don't have, a good conversation, bro. Like, if the conversation is flowing, like she feel like you used to talking to her, like that level of familiarity is not too awkward. It's very easy to maneuver and manage, and it's just all about the flow of things, bro. As long as it's flowing and it's not too many disruptions, like it's not too awkward silences and all, creepy and weird vibes, bro. As long as it's flowing and you're able to express your size to yourself, them layers, it really don't take much. That's really all I'm trying to say, bro. It don't take much to be considered pre-selected. It's just about putting in the work and the effort and understanding, understanding what it looks like to have abundance. And when you have that understanding, it just puts you in a different frequency. You move a certain type of way. You move with a little bit more swag, a little bit more, you got it. Because girls, they just want you to have it. They don't want to have to tell you what it is, because it's a level of game. They want a level of game, bro. But the game is to get pre-selected. The game is to become pre-selected. That's just indicating that you're leveling up, that you're moving right on your path. So that's the video for today, man. If you like the content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment, do everything YouTube friendly. And if you don't like the content, why did you watch this whole video? Bye.